to the PlapCast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the PlapCast. I am Amanda, and I'm joined with my other host and talented scriptwriter, Brewy, and our brand new host, Marivane. Today, we are going behind the scenes with the dazzling Dolph on Quinn. Dolphy, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing lovely. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, could you tell us a little about yourself and how you became a VA on Quinn?
Sure. So I've been doing this a little over, probably like a year and a half now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I started on Reddit and actually I didn't intend to do these roleplay audios. I didn't even know they existed. I was gonna just try my hand at narrating erotic stories that were just,
Mhm.
you know, just narrated stories.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that, and then through my research, I encountered Gone Wild Audio and
Your
started listening to
research.
some of those. Yeah, and
For science.
so I listened to like two or three of those, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Let me try my hand at this. This is like actual acting,
Mm.
and so I just recorded a couple of those for fun and wrote a couple of those,
Yeah.
and the ones that I put to Gone Wild Audio, the male for female ones, didn't do exceptionally well, but I was pretty excited just having, you know, 60
Yeah.
people listen to this weird thing that I made and liking it or
Oh,
whatever. But
yeah.
the male for male ones that I did and put on Gone Wild Gay Audio or whatever it's called,
Mm.
Gone Wild Audio Gay on Reddit, those
Mm.
did pretty well, and I got a really good response, and that motivated me to keep trying that until ultimately I ended up doing way more of those than I was doing of narrated stories, and from there, I
Mm.
just kind of picked up some momentum and found my way over to Quinn.
That's awesome. So, have you done any other VO work aside from audio erotica?
Not exactly. Right now, I'm doing a book, an audiobook
Okay,
for
that's so
an author
exciting.
named Danielle Cookie. Yeah, and that
Uh-huh.
should be out. The audiobook, the book's out now. So you could check that out.
What's the book
Just head over
called?
to my page, you'll find it. Echoes in Obsidian.
Oh, okay. Sounds
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I think that you'll like it. It's
that's awesome.
witches, romance,
Ooh,
Hmm.
that's
demons and
exciting.
witches. It's very fun. Yeah.
And that's your
So I'm
your
doing
very first audiobook?
yes, and that's the first audiobook that I've
That's
done.
awesome. It's
And
exciting.
then after that, I'm gonna do a collection of male for male erotic, hardcore erotic stories. So I've
Hmm.
got that lined up as well. So just still doing, I guess I'm still doing the same thing I started with, narrating stories and doing role plays, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, what
Nice.
platforms are you on now? You're on Quinn, Magic Wave, a bunch of things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess mostly Quinn, and
Mhm.
then I would say my Patreon slash membership website would be like the
Mhm.
next place I post the most to,
Mhm.
and then Reddit, and then I post a little bit to Magic Wave, but who knows? Maybe I'll end up doing a bit more to Magic Wave
Yeah.
in the future.
Have you had any issues with Patreon? Because I know they're kind of finicky with audios now.
Well, I'm glad you asked. So I
Oh no.
haven't, luckily. No, I haven't, luckily.
Okay,
But
good.
I did create um, another website outside of
Okay.
Patreon that where I'm going to post all the same things I post to Patreon, but it's sort of a failsafe for when I do inevitably get
Mm.
kicked off of Patreon, just like everybody else. So
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, if you ever notice my page has gone from there, worry not. Just check out like my link tree on my Instagram, and you'll find a link to
Mhm.
my other membership site. So
Is it a fourth wall?
yeah.
Okay.
Bad Fantasy got talking to me, and
Yes.
he
Yes.
finally convinced me that I should just go ahead and do it. So
Hmm.
I followed
Yeah.
his advice. Yeah,
Yeah, because poor Axie. I feel
yeah,
so bad for him. Oh gosh.
yeah.
So,
It
how
sucks.
did you become Dolph Metzen? Where did that name come from?
Um, it really doesn't have a story, unfortunately. I'm sorry to tell you.
Really?
It's just, yeah, I was just like, all right, cool. Got to come up with a stage name. Let's do this. How about Dolph?
Hmm.
That's cool. That's memorable, And then I just wanted
Really,
to come
just
up with a
off the top
last.
of your
Yeah,
head.
literally, I was just like, let's think of some names. Dolph. Let's do Dolph. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
What did
really
the
not. It's not much of a story. I'm sorry.
so you were a podcaster too at one point, weren't you?
Not exactly. I mean, I was like I said, I was doing those narrated audios.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think of the correct term to use, but a story, a literature type
Mhm.
story rather than script play type story. Yeah.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
doing those and I was posting those to a podcast as well as other places. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which
Uh,
I really haven't kept up with that, but I've been saying for the last 8 months, like, okay, I'm gonna get back into it now. I'm gonna keep posting these to the podcast, but I haven't yet, but I will in case anybody wants to,
one day.
yeah, keep track of that. And one day it will happen.
One day.
So is it challenging being an anonymous creator?
I think it's probably a lot easier to be an anonymous creator. You just have a little bit less to worry about in terms of parasocial things that could pop up, which luckily I've
Yeah.
never had any issue with that.
Good.
I don't know if
Yeah,
that's a
you're
good or a bad
brave.
thing. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing that I've never attracted any parasocial behavior, but I
That's a
feel
good
lucky that I
thing.
have it.
That is a good thing.
It's very much a good thing.
Never a bad
Uh-huh.
thing. Grab you by your ear and say it's a good thing.
You better
Okay.
knock on wood right now, because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
okay. I'm knocking. But no, everybody in the community has been super respectful and nice, and I've never had an issue with anybody. So
Good.
I get a lot of messages on Instagram, and I appreciate them all. But I mean, there's only so much time in a day, and I probably read and was very thankful for your message if you've ever messaged me there or on Reddit or Discord. And if I didn't get back to you, not to worry. I did appreciate your message. I just probably got sidetracked. So
Got lost
thank
in the
you.
sauce. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So your question, is it hard to be an anonymous creator?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's not a huge difference between being anonymous and not, aside from the concerns about parasocial things. I guess if somebody was like mega hot, mega good looking, then not being anonymous would be a benefit, right? But otherwise, I can't really think, what the difference would be personally.
So you started off writing your own audios. Do you prefer writing your own or do you like to source a writer?
Well, since I'm trying to do a pretty high volume of audios per month, it really helps to have other writers helping me out. And it's really cool having other writers too, because it's just my writing, it's just whatever my brain can come up with. But if I'm working with another writer, then I get to explore, how they view sexuality through the lens of these different circumstances and stuff. And I think that's really helpful, both for my own writing and just for being able to make content that a wider range of people will enjoy, So,
Yeah. That's a
like
cool way to
both.
look at it.
Yeah.
you get to play a wide range of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although I will say, uh, I've worked with quite a number of script writers at this point, and they've all been wonderful. But it becomes a lot of relationships to manage, and it becomes a little bit difficult in terms of scheduling your time if you're working with a lot of different script writers. And so for that reason, I've narrowed myself down for the moment to just working with two. And that's mostly just so that I can focus and be able to get stuff done and not spend quite so much time networking,
Yeah.
But
Understandable.
I appreciated working with all those other script writers as well.
What keeps you motivated in your work as a creator?
I guess I'm a little bit of a slut for praise, So
Aren't we
I
all?
love I
Aren't
love
we
seeing
all?
those comments. Yeah, I'm just a slut praise, and that's what keeps me motivated.
Just a
Is all
slut
of your
praise.
awesome comments. Yeah. So please keep
Sorry.
commenting and motivating me.
Okay, good to know.
Noted.
Noted.
All right, let me
Did
cue
I
up
say
some
did I say
comments.
did I say
You said
praise slut or slut
yeah,
praise?
you said slut
praise.
praise.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right.
It's been a long
But
day.
I mean, if you think about it, it's the same thing.
Where it
Yeah.
works.
I am a slut. Praise. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I'll
It
take it.
depends on where you put the comma.
You're right. I'm a slut for praise,
There,
I am a praise slut.
there you
How
go.
about
There you
that?
go.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh. So, what is your favorite part of the audio creation process since you've done a little bit of everything?
Well, I hate editing, so we can cross
Okay.
that right off the list immediately. I hate editing
You're such a
because
good editor, though.
man, I have to listen to my voice saying the same things over and over and over again. And by the time I'm done with it, it's like all white noise to me. And I can't tell if what I'm listening to is good or terrible or whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why we
Anyway,
have beta
not a
listeners.
yes. And so beta listeners are very helpful.
Mm.
Okay, I love the acting part. That's the most fun part because I just get to be
Yeah.
weird and loud and try a bunch of different ways of saying things, different characters, seeing
Yeah.
how charismatic I can get away with being in a certain scene, and I don't know, it's just fun.
Yeah.
But writing is a totally different type of fun in this process. You get your cup of coffee and start becoming weirdly horny at 11 in the morning while you're trying to write scripts,
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. How did you
Yeah.
pick up script writing? Did you just learn off of Reddit or
I mean, I'm still learning, obviously,
Yeah.
but I think when you're first starting out, you have a lot of I don't know what's the word. I don't know. You have a lot of material to work with, just raw horniness, like you're so fresh to the space and you're like, okay, well, what do I think is hot? And so you just start constructing these scenarios. And so I think for everybody, probably you can knock out 3 or 4 scripts that are going to be pretty awesome and pretty unique.
Mhm.
And then after that, you have to dig a little bit deeper and start thinking more about this. And I don't know. I think maybe I was inclined towards writing already because I've
Mhm.
always been really into reading different types of literature and
Oh, okay.
storytelling and stuff. So I was definitely had an affinity for writing already.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite genre?
Um, I don't know because I like to switch it up a lot.
Yeah.
Science fiction and fantasy probably my favorite. Although most of the things that I've read have just been
Smut.
regular life fiction. No, smut. Yeah, I actually haven't read that much smut.
That's really how you learned. You just picked up Haunting Adeline or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What kind of equipment or software do you use?
I edit with Audacity. Yeah, the simple one.
How dare you?
Oh,
That's a
you
sin.
don't?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't.
Okay.
I use worse.
I don't know. I feel like once you've learned one, the idea of learning another one and slowing
Yeah,
down
I
your
get it.
process is so daunting. But yeah, I'm sure there's better ones. I've been thinking about learning how to use Reaper. I don't know if you have any
Oh
familiarity with
yeah.
that one, but I would kind of like to
Atlas
learn
uses that
Reaper.
one.
Oh, he
Mm-hmm.
does?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might have to pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah.
And then my
Pricey.
mic is a Shure SMB7, whatever. I forgot what it's called exactly, but
7, whatever.
people who know mics will know what I'm talking about. And then I use a Focusrite Scarlett 4th gen something for the whatever it's called.
Is
I
it?
am not a technically savvy person. I'm the guy who like went on YouTube and like, okay, how do I build my sound system? What do I use? So yeah,
I heard
I'm just doing my
rumors.
best.
that you built your sound booth as well.
Yeah, I'm much more comfortable in construction projects. So I did build my sound booth.
It is massive, by the way. I just saw it on the live that you did the other day, and I was like, oh my god. It
Yeah,
was
it's
so
big.
fancy. It's
I
crazy.
think it's like 8 by 11 or something. No, it's not that big. It's like 7 by 10, I think. Yeah.
Still,
pretty big.
everyone
Wow.
usually records out of closets, so there you go.
I'm sure the sound quality would be like a little bit better if it was a smaller space, but also, you get a little bit more of there's a trade-off because you get a little bit more of a lively sound in a bigger room. So I don't know. I like both ways.
All right. Well, that is our first round of questions, so that brings us to the first round of the game.
Okay.
Are we ready? Marivane,
Ready.
I hate you.
Look. I don't know. I don't know what happened to my brain when I was looking at these and listening to these audios. I'm gonna say it. I spent yesterday listening to all of your audios and picking quotes out of it, and
All of them.
all of them. And
All right.
well, all of them. Sorry, all of them on Quinn.
Okay. Yeah.
And I found my limit of audios I can listen to in a day, and apparently it's 17. So
Holy cow. Wow. You
It's
really
impressive.
did your homework. That is impressive.
Yeah,
I mean,
usually
I've
I'm the
listened to
one
them
doing it.
before, but I had to go back to like get the actual phrasing.
Okay. I will go ahead and explain the game again. Basically, we have a line from your audios, and you will perform it 3 different ways. The first being as you would normally perform it, and then the last 2 you'll be given an emoji that you will have to interpret. So this is your first round.
Okay.
Scared.
Something tells me you'd look even prettier begging than smirking.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Okay. Is this so those are both of the emojis? The 2 different ways
Yep.
I'd read it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so this guy he looks a little bit frightened and surprised at the same time. Okay.
It's Amanda right now.
Something tells me you'd look even prettier begging than smirking. Okay, that's the first one. And then the
Perfect.
sunglasses, cool guy. I guess I kind of did that the first one, but I'll try to be even more obnoxiously cool guy.
Oh god.
Something tells me you'd look even prettier begging than smirking. Okay.
That was good. That was good.
Yep.
All right. So bonus points if you can say which audio this is from.
Good, because I don't even know.
Hey, I wrote all of these down. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that one is super recent. It was one of the
Mhm.
most recent one. It was probably the most recent one. Fixing you up, right?
Close. It's not that one.
Oh, is it top 5? Top 5 audio?
Yes.
Or okay, yep. Top 5
Joe.
records. Got it.
Audio.
All right, here we go. Oh no. You are not going to watch me ruin you. You're going to be watching yourself being taken apart.
Good
Okay.
line. It's a good line.
Oh,
All right,
no.
so sad. We're crying. Okay, this is going to sound so bitchy. All right, here we go. Oh no. You are not going to be watching me ruin you. You're going to be watching yourself being taken apart. Okay, so that's like, I don't know why he's crying, but he was crying.
That was great.
And then this one is like,
He's
he's sick. And maybe he's sick in the head.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's
he's
just
crazy.
sick.
Maybe he's sick in the head.
Oh, no.
God.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to play him being nauseous and saying this.
You know, stuffy nose.
How do you
Sniffle.
pretend to have it? Okay.
Oh no, you are not going to be watch me ruin you. You're gonna be watching yourself being taken apart.
I don't know.
That was so
I just plugged my nose.
That was
Perfect.
great.
that was so good.
Wait, which one is that from?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
Sorry.
that's great.
Oh,
I will say that it's
Is
one
this
that you've
from-
already mentioned.
oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay, then it must be fixing you up.
No, it's actually. It's also from the top 5.
Oh, it's also from top 5. Okay, yeah, sweet.
We now return to PlapCast.
Did you always want to be a VA, and when did the desire to be one arise?
No, I actually never really had an intention of being a VA. I was a real estate agent before this. And I was just really sick of that line of work and I did not enjoy it. And so I just started brainstorming like, okay, what is something that I can do for myself, ideally working from home, and that'll be enjoyable for me. And that's when I had the idea. I was like, okay, well, maybe I can narrate sex stories. Which
Great
might not be the
idea.
first thing that pops into many people's minds, but I was like, yeah, I bet you there's a market for that. I bet you that there's a need for something like that. And so that's kind of what set me down this VA journey. I hadn't really considered doing it before. I mean, I can remember being a kid and thinking it could be cool to be an actor, but that always seemed like not something that you could actually do. It seemed unattainable, right? So I didn't really give that too much thought.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. What's your favorite thing about audio erotica?
My favorite thing is probably just being able to explore all of the different things the different ways of expressing sexuality, in story. So I don't know. I love writing the stories and acting them out and just getting to play different characters in all these different circumstances. One day I might be being a total asshole, like cunty guy who gets beaten with a belt by his love interest, and another day I'm just your adorable husband who is doing some kinky freaky shit, and both of those are super fun. I don't know. So I guess just getting to explore all these different types of intimacy and sexuality is a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and being able to act it out.
Absolutely. So, how do you make your SFX noises?
Straight
I
to
will
the
say,
point.
whenever I first started, I found like a free not safe for work sound pack,
Mhm.
and I was doing it that way. But those sound effects are so like cartoon comical, which is fine.
Yep.
I mean, that has its place as well. Not knocking it, but for me, it sounded a little bit too fake, I guess.
Yeah.
So then I you get some lube, you get some lotion, you get some tools, and
Tools.
whatever you might have attached to yourself that will help you make noises. You just go to town, in different speeds and things. I do actually have a strong intention of bringing another person into the process and recording some really proper sound effects. But so far, all of my sound effects are self-created. So yeah, if you hear if I'm doing a sound of a dick slapping against my hand or the listener's mouth or something like that, yeah, I made those sound effects. So you can take pleasure in that knowledge or not. It's up to you.
You can timestamp that. That's fine.
Help me.
What?
Oh, man.
Those were not words.
Take a breath. It's
I'm just
okay.
laughing. We're good. Everything's fine.
There were a couple audios also where I recorded the whole audio and then I listened back to it. And especially the audio is like there was a male for male hockey one that Quinn had me do. Forgot the name of it, right? But you might remember
Yep.
that one. Anyway,
Yep.
it's all just the character jerking off. So I was like, okay, well, for the sound effects,
That was
I'm
easy.
just gonna re-listen to it and jerk off while I'm listening to it and try to match the tempo and everything to what's happening in the audio. And it was like a 30-minute audio, so that was a long time. It turns out 30 minutes is a long time to jerk off like that.
Oh my god.
And when you're listening
Stupid,
and
it's
when
just
you're
jerking the time.
mostly hearing your own voice, it's really hard to stay hard.
Oh my god.
Sorry, are we treading into TMI territory yet? Or-
No. We're just treading into Might Kill Manda territory.
That's a very shallow pool, though.
Leave me alone.
So, kind of in that same vein.
Vein?
Go
Oh, I
ahead.
was just gonna.
Speaking of veins,
Oh no, I was just gonna follow up on that
Listen.
question. And I hope that's okay. Was just like, is there like a ridiculous like sound effect that you've had to do? That like I don't know, you've just had to do it in a weird way to make it sound realistic. If that makes sense.
well, I do sometimes try to think about like, okay, what are the sound differences between a girl riding versus hitting it from behind and stuff like that? And then you have to like, yeah, when you're making it with just yourself and whatever tools you have available to you, it can be challenging to do that. So there's some thigh slapping that goes on while doing other things sometimes to try to get different sound profiles out of it. But yeah, I think that's what's challenging, is trying to make the different sex positions sound appropriate and different.
Amanda's just completely silent.
Listen. Listen. Oh, actually, I do have a question. Okay. So for Run. Okay, so the character was outside in this one. How did you record those sound effects?
I didn't record those sound effects. Those I got from a database.
I figured.
So
okay.
yeah. So like outside ambiance noises and stuff. Unfortunately, I don't really have the right recording equipment to do that type of stuff yet. So I just get that stuff from a database.
You didn't just set up like some houseplants next to you and just like rustled around in them?
I mean, sometimes you really have to
Such
do
a
that.
Good idea.
Yes, sometimes the sound effect is super specific and it's not something you're going to be able to find on a database. And so yeah, I can't.
Right.
It's hard to think of an exact example, but I don't know. If I can do the sound effect myself, I will. So like, anything to do with a belt, or if I'm taking my shirt off or something, I try to actually do those so that it sounds more real. But yeah.
The ambiance in that one is so good, though. Like, I went back just because I was curious to see if it had a different editor on it, but you did it yourself, which was incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was
Appreciate
for
that.
science.
Yeah,
That's why she went back.
It was a lot of sound effects on that one for sure.
It was, yeah. And I'm just a nerd because I appreciate sound editing because I love watching people sound edit now. It is so fun to watch. I'm like, oh my god, they're doing the thing. It's so cool.
Oh wow.
I'm such a nerd.
I was gonna say, I think you're the first person I've heard say they enjoy watching editing.
It's
Yeah.
so much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the editing myself, so
Yeah.
if you want to
Seems
get
to
really
be a
good at that and
common-
then edit all of my audios for me, that would be
Oh no, I get
that'd be
to
real
beta
clutch.
listen to everything. Oh no.
You've got to be okay with paying like medical bills though, because she's gonna pass out.
Oh my god.
Oh,
No.
really?
Stop. Stop. Don't do
Sorry, love you, Amanda.
So on that note, do you have any silly moments that have happened while you're recording?
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny whenever you're like in the middle of a sex scene and then you stumble over a section and have like a word burger. And yeah, I've got a whole folder full of bloopers of me saying the wrong thing. So I crack myself up all the time when I'm recording. Like, I forgot the most recent one, what it was that I said, but it's something like, instead of saying blah, 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 my cock on your face or something. I said, I'm going to do whatever to your face cock or something like that. And it's just, whenever you're in the, yeah. And so whenever you're in the middle of like panting and trying to sound sexy and stuff, and then you actually refer to somebody's face cock, it cracks you up.
Just like you're a slut praise.
Yes, just like
Right.
slut. I am slut praise.
I was just gonna say, if the name Dolph ever, stops working out for you, you just go for slut praise.
I like
That's a
it.
great idea. Slut praise parlor.
New
It's
rebrand.
your alter ego.
If I could go back in time, it would be slut praise. Like my first audio that was like what I would consider like kind of popular was whipping the billionaire fuckboy, which went on Reddit. And so just because that was the first one that like did kind of high numbers, it sort of has a place in my heart, as a fond memory.
Yeah.
And then I think I really liked Hate Fucking Love, which when I wrote it, I didn't really have any thought that it was going to be especially popular or good. I think I wrote the whole thing in like 4 hours and then recorded it, and then it turned out to be quite popular. And so, yeah, I think that one did turn out pretty good. So I do like that one. And then I really liked Wake to Dream, which came out a few audios ago. You mentioned
That one's a really good
Run.
one.
I like Run quite a bit.
Of course.
Time Out, which Time Out on tomorrow on Tuesday. It's gonna be the unofficial sequel to Time Out. So
Oh god.
for those in the know, it's called Night Out, and it's also written by Miranda Parker.
Oh
And
god.
it's a established relationship, husband audio, and I didn't want to have an actual part 2, but for those who know, it's supposed to be the same couple and a continuation of their story. So,
Oh great. Can't wait.
yeah.
Amanda, you sounded like an owl. You just
Oh good.
So, do you do voiceover work full time?
I do now. That's a
that's
pretty
awesome.
recent development. Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So I was still doing some real estate related stuff for a while I was doing this. And after I joined Quinn, I was still doing a little bit of that. But I decided I'm just going to take the plunge and I'm going to try to make a full-time career out of this. So for any of you who are part of my Patreon, or even if you just have been consistently listening and helping me by listening and liking my audios, thank you very much, because you are supporting my dream.
That's
That's so
sweet.
exciting. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah. Still a process, still trying to
Yeah, I'm sure.
get to where I'd like to be.
Yeah. That's the second round of questions.
All right. Does that mean we get to read more lines?
Mhm.
All right.
It does.
Scared.
Is he okay?
you act like you haven't read these or heard them before.
You made the PowerPoint.
I'm pretty. She was yelling at me the entire time she was making it too. She's like, "Why these lines?"
I feel like this is a dangerous one because out of context, it could sound rather creepy, right?
This is true.
A little bit.
Yeah, make it sound creepy. Go for it. It's fine.
Just
Okay.
ruin this line for her completely.
Yes,
Please.
let me just ruin Good Girl for everyone forever. All right, are we ready?
Mhm.
Just be a good girl and let me play with you. There it is. I'll try another sexy way before you give me the emojis. Okay.
Oh god.
Just be a good girl and let me play with you.
I need a mute button.
You have a mute button. Who are you muting? Yourself or him?
All right, now let's do it weird. Oh yes, dorky.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Dorky.
And then cowboy. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. Just be a good girl and let me play with you. Hang on. Let me try that again. Just be a good girl and let me play with you. Okay, there's the creep.
That
That's
was
creepy,
good.
creepy nerd. Okay.
Creepy nerd.
He's trying to join your D&D.
Listen here. Just be a good girl and let me play with you. You settle down now. You settle down now. Just be a good girl and let me play with you.
Someone play the
There's
Suck
Cowboy.
Daddy's Dick.
Suck daddy's dick.
God.
I mean, this one might be.
I do have that soundboard, so I can.
This might be too of a generic line to guess which audio it's from. I will say it's
It's
on
a tough
Quinn.
one. It's a tough one. Okay, just be a good girl.
If you want a hint, I'll give you a hint.
Yeah, give me a hint.
You did this one with an accent.
Okay. Well then it has to be may I have this dance?
Yes.
All right.
I love that. That's your only historical one, but you need to do more of them because it
thank
was
you.
really good. It was really well done.
Yeah, historical, I really like historical, but it's a little bit niche, not everybody is a fan, so
Yeah.
it's a good sometimes
It's my favorite.
It's mine
category
too,
for
yeah.
me. Yeah, I really like
I love
it.
like fantasy or anything like that.
I guess we all just have the same favorites. It's all good.
Yep. Mhm.
It's
That's why Monster
It's my
Mingle was so
specialty, it's
good. We
fine.
need part 2. You better do part 2 next year, please. Or this year,
Oh,
please.
yeah. Yeah, there might have
Please
to be
continue.
some, at least a few. All right. All right.
I'm taking my
Yeah.
headphones off.
You're gonna fall apart on my tongue, aren't you? Right here. Right here with me watching your face while I worship every inch of you. Okay, they're serious.
I think we need to schedule a wellness check on Manda.
We're good. I think so.
Amanda, there you go.
Okay, so this could either be that he's once again very surprised, or maybe that's his O face. Maybe he's he's orgasming while he's
Oh no. No.
Okay. I think you know which one I'm gonna pick.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna fall apart on my tongue, aren't you? Oh, right here with me watching your face while I worship every inch of you. Oh God. Oh. Okay, so that's him struggling with his O face while he says it, and then we have an angel who's just
It's like the exact opposite.
Yeah. So I guess the first serious one that I did was like maybe a little bit of a darker tone. So I'm wondering how I can say this in a light tone. Okay, so I guess I'll just try to say it sweetly instead of darkly. Let's see.
It's golden retriever.
You're gonna fall apart on my tongue, aren't you? Right here. Right here with me watching your face while I worship every inch of you. There you go. There's sweet.
Very innocent.
Nailed
very
it.
This
innocent.
is
Yeah.
our last episode of the podcast. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. See you next time.
I will drag you right back. Don't worry.
If you want to guess this one, I don't actually know which one this one is.
Okay.
From.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking about it and I feel like this is not quite how I would have worded it if I was writing it. So it must be one that someone else wrote. So if I were to guess, I'm going to say Tied to You.
Yeah.
Is that
was
right?
that was my first Dolph audio.
Oh, nice.
We now return to PlapCast.
What would you consider your biggest challenge doing audio erotica?
To be honest with you, the biggest challenge for me is probably the output, because I feel like, I want to put out a certain number of audios, and just keeping up with the schedule of writing and then recording and then editing and getting everything out on time has been a little bit challenging for me. I think that I might be a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to these kinds of things.
Yes.
So staying on track is probably my biggest challenge. But other than that, I don't know. I'm just always trying to improve. I'm trying to figure out what I can do better, how I can create audios with a different sound that's not always the same type of character. I'm just always trying to figure out what the listeners would like to hear and try to make more of that, But yeah, probably the biggest challenge is timekeeping for me.
Yeah.
That's fair. How do you prepare emotionally to read a script? Do you have to like get into character? Do you have any kind of like routines beforehand?
I think I've mentioned before that occasionally I'll listen to heavy metal music because it's just like so much energy
Ooh,
and amps
what
you up,
kind?
and the electric guitar. Well, I'm kind of a fan of Dan Vask, his style
Okay.
of heavy metal, and he does like a lot of covers. And he does covers of some of my favorite like weird Disney songs. Like yeah, he does
That's excellent.
he does heavy metal covers of like the strangest things, and I
That's
really
so
enjoy that.
cute.
Yeah.
Those are always the best,
Yeah.
though.
That's adorable.
So yeah, sometimes I'll listen to some heavy metal music.
You're just listening to Disney songs before
Yeah, the heavy metal version.
the heavy metal version.
But they're metal.
I
Yeah, it's
know,
metal.
but
Come
that's
on.
that's adorable.
I don't know. I guess I'll do that occasionally if I'm feeling low energy, but for the most part, I'll just like kind of read a little bit through the script until like I feel like I have an idea in my head of how this person talks
Mm.
and where the markers are where you're like, okay, now I need to start whispering and saying sexy things and blah blah blah. So reading the script again is part of it, and then that's really all that I do, I guess.
So, as a VA, I'm sure you've had listeners reach out to you, especially as we've talked before. Your bio is like, everyone can message me. Uh, not that you'll necessarily respond, but how do you maintain boundaries when you do interact with people?
If somebody were to be weird and do something that made me uncomfortable, I would probably either tell them or just kind of not respond anymore and sideline the conversation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest
That's
though,
fair.
I haven't really been made uncomfortable by anybody yet. It's just been, if I haven't
Better knock
responded
on
to you,
wood.
that's probably not the reason why. It's probably just because, I just don't always have time in the day to respond to messages like that. But yeah, my boundaries would be just like talk to me the same way you would talk to me if like I was just a normal person that you met in public.
Mm.
That's a good rule of thumb when you're talking. If
Some
you want to
people,
talk to a VA, just talk to them the same way
Absolutely.
the same rules apply that would apply if you were talking to anybody in public, which so far
Mm.
pretty much everybody has followed that standard with me. So I appreciate
no,
it.
have you talked to people in public? Because
That's true. There are people who speak very, very weirdly to others in public. So not those people. I'm talking about people who you want to talk to.
So, would you say there are any challenges or differences when making audio content geared towards men rather than women?
It is different, um, but the challenges are not different. So the
Hmm.
content is different.
Hmm.
The script is different. So I would just say the phrasing with men, and this is not 100% of men and 100% of women. Okay, this is just a trend. What I'm describing
Mm.
is just a trend. But the trend is that men prefer things to be a little bit more okay, if I even say this, every woman who's listening to this is going to be like, "That's not true." But okay,
From your
if you,
perspective, it's okay.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that men prefer things to be a little bit more raw and biting and animalistic in some respects. I know that women, if I it's just saying that, every woman listening to this is like, no, that's what I want, you know? But listen to me. If you read romance books, male for male romance books written by women, they're going to be written a little bit differently than
Right.
a male for male romance book written by a
Mhm.
man. You know, the ones written by the women typically, again, don't bite my head off. I'm just talking about trends. That's all, trends.
Mhm.
So typically the ones written by women are going to be much more touchy-feely, much more emotionally connected, which is awesome, and that's how everybody should strive to be, by the way.
Mm.
But I think the ones written by men are going to be a little bit more carnal, focused a little bit more on the physical aspects versus the emotional ones.
Right.
Once again, just talking about trends here. Obviously, there's plenty of women who like things animalistic and aggressive as well, and plenty of men who like things emotionally connected. I like things emotionally connected. I love writing scripts that way. But I
Mhm.
think that those are some differences. If you listen to audios on Gone Wild Audio Gay, they will trend more towards hardcore, I think, than the Gone Wild Audio ones for the most part.
So actually that leads into the next question of, so what has the experience been like transitioning from Gone Wild audios and Reddit spaces to a platform like Quinn?
Well, Gone Wild Audio, a lot of the audios on there are a lot more hardcore, which I know kind of goes against what I was just saying, but yeah, there is a lot more degradation and even like CNC audios on Gone Wild Audio, and that's not really what Quinn is about.
Right.
Which is, totally good because a lot of women would probably prefer not to have that kind of content, but for those who do, that's great that Gone Wild Audio exists, That's a difference, but for me and the type of content that I generally want to make, there isn't a big difference between posting to Gone Wild Audio versus Quinn. I don't know. There is, and I'm still trying to figure this out, but there is a little bit of a difference between the audience on Quinn and the audience on Gone Wild Audio. And I'm still kind of sussing it out, so I can't give a
don't
good
say.
description of that. But
Reddit scares me.
Yeah, honestly.
Reddit is different. Yeah, it's unpredictable, I would say.
Reddit is the
Yeah.
No
Craigslist of
guidelines.
Quinn.
No
Yeah.
guidelines.
It's the Wild West. of
Exactly.
audio.
Yeah. Reddit is kind of the Wild West. But I love them both.
Is there any advice you'd like to include for VAs wanting to start a community or get started in this community? Just do it.
I
Just do the thing. That's what Dex says. Just do it.
Gosh, I don't know because there's so many little points that I could make. But the broad strokes advice, if you're having fun with it, it's gonna turn out. It's gonna turn out. People are gonna have fun with it with you. So
Mhm.
the people who do well, I think, are the people who started out were like, this is fun, and you're
Yeah.
writing it and write it in a way that is fun for you. And also along with that goes being authentic to yourself, rather than what
Absolutely.
maybe what you think other people want to hear.
Mhm.
So for instance, like if you tend towards being more of like a submissive person in the bedroom, there's nothing wrong with doing that in audios, even if you think that more people want to hear male dom or something. No, there is absolutely an audience for all different types of men and men's styles in the bedroom. So I would say, and that's the other thing, don't be afraid to experiment a little bit. For me, I always try to do different things, male sub, male dom, different weird scenarios. So that's been my credo to myself is I'm not going to be afraid to do any weird shit or debase or degrade myself. I'm just going to try to make it fun and do fun stuff. So that's how I approach it.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Isn't that like there's like a what is it? My rule 34 or something, you know?
Oh God.
If it exists, there's a kink for it.
That's true.
What a completely different way.
Very true.
I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. I love to hear that. And you're like, yeah, there's porn for everything.
There really is. There is an audience for everything. If I could tell you some of the things that people have messaged me asking me to do.
Oh dear.
But yeah, anyway, to each their own, and everybody
definitely
has their own kinks, and we don't kink shame.
Absolutely
boundaries
No,
on
we don't kink shame in this house.
I will say the only thing that scares me more than Reddit is like the inside of a VA's DMs.
Yeah, occasional. Usually it's totally fine, but occasionally you do get one that gives you pause. So
yeah. Do you have a boundaries post out there for people to see?
I don't have a boundaries post. Nah. I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, you think the people who are out there like, hold up, let me go and find this VA's boundary post before I message him. Those are not the people that are going to be saying crazy shit to you, okay? It's the people who don't worry about your boundary post.
I think it's more or less
point
to say that you have that out there, so it's something you can kind of point out and be like, look, I've told you that I'm uncomfortable with this.
That's
so it's just
fair,
another like boundary affirmation versus
that
someone could be like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's true. But like I said, it is kind of hard to make me uncomfortable. So I feel like my boundary post would be like too vague anyway. Like I don't really care if I don't know you and you're messaging me like, hey, I love that you're a fan, but if you make me uncomfortable, then I'm probably just going to stop responding to you, like,
Fair.
Or most of the time, like I don't respond to DMs anyway, because then if I started responding to DMs, then how much of my day every day is going to be responding to DMs and Instagram or whatever, like it's just, I got to make content, I got stuff to do. So, I mean, but I as much as I appreciate
rabbit hole,
but I do read them. So if you just want to send me a message and be like, hey, I really appreciated that you did this, then I do like that. So thank you.
Yeah.
I just have one last question, and this is a question. This is my fan question, which is, do you call your listeners Dolph fans?
Dolph fans?
Yeah,
fans. Somebody did propose something like that. We were actually brainstorming what name we should have for my listeners, because it's come to my attention that many VAs have names for their listeners. And so I was trying to think of it, and so I was like, well, I would like to call you all my degenerates.
Yep.
And so we were gonna go with degenerates, but then some people were like, I don't know if I want that, and somebody was like, how about desk pets, Dolph's desk pets and stuff, because you get the alliteration. And yeah, somebody said dolphins or dolphins as well, but I don't think that we've settled the issue
just
yet.
very. Sorry, I love puns, and that was punny to me. So
yeah, everyone just calls themselves the pervs. Every morning it's good morning pervs. I'm like,
Good
oh
morning,
hi.
pervs. Yeah. Yeah.
It's adorable, but I'm like, oh, you guys don't want to be called anything cuter? Like, I don't know.
dolphins,
Dog fans, yeah.
yeah, just pervs.
It's like good morning, and then degrade me. I want to wake up in the morning and degrade it.
Yeah, we do a lot of degradation over in my Patreon.
It's a lot of.
Good to know. Signing up. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. Moving on.
Well, that's all the questions I have. So back to the game.
Yeah, that brings us back.
Okay.
Don't sound so happy about it, Amanda.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
I want to see your eyes widen when I fill you up. How's that?
Yep.
That was good. Good.
Is that good? Okay. All right, so I'm going to have to interpret this first emoji, which is a very happy individual who's also drooling, as just like a gooning, very happy, horny boy who's just so excited to be with you. So that's
Yeah.
that's this guy.
Oh gosh.
I want to see your eyes widen when I fill you up. And I'm now realizing how creepy that guy must be. But he's excited, man. If you want earnest, if you want an earnest excitement, then that's your guy. And then we've got somebody who is the opposite, and he is just completely disenchanted, and he's over it, man. He's ready for this to be over. So
He just wants to go to the kitchen and make a snack.
he wants you to get your nut and get off him right away. Okay, which is not a character that I've ever played before, but that's an interesting idea for an audio. A character who's just doing this just for you. He does not want to be here, but I don't think that would make for a very good audio.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, here's our lethargic guy. I want to see your eyes widen when I fill you up. He's just going along with the motions, I guess.
Yeah, that felt so sincerely disinterested. I felt offended there.
Right. I'm bored.
Oh,
bored.
thanks. Oh.
Would you just come already?
You done yet? You done yet?
Are you there yet?
Are you there yet?
Hold
Oh,
on.
wait.
What was what was the
Yeah.
last
Oh
one
yeah,
from?
yeah. What was it from?
Okay, all right. Is it from Wake to Dream?
It is, yeah.
All right. Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, he did mention that one
Beautiful.
earlier as being one of his
Yeah, I do like
favorites.
that one. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
You don't have all of these lines memorized? Gosh.
No,
Oh,
not at
gosh.
all.
Oh God, why is this one? Why?
Oh, I know
Why?
what this one's
Oh.
from.
I wonder
If
what
you
it
didn't
is.
know which one this one was from, I would
I wonder what this
probably
one's
be
from.
kind of concerned.
If you ever ran away, I'd just have to hunt you down. And you know what would happen if I caught you, right? If I catch you, I fuck you.
No.
There's that line. I had to throw that in there because that's like a famous line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I removed
will
the
say-
bottom part because I was like,
Yeah. That's not what you said next, but close enough.
There you go.
yeah.
Look, I had
It
added the
works.
bottom part in to make it, like a full.
Well,
I don't know. Less creepy.
Amanda's
I
scared.
hope this is.
Amanda got rid
Amanda
of
didn't
it.
want to listen to it.
Well, you all just didn't know that it's impossible to make me uncomfortable, and I'm willing to say anything on your
It's
podcast.
not-
So you don't have to worry about that.
It's more about Amanda being uncomfortable.
No, it's
Oh,
about
okay.
Amanda not dying. Right? That's
Yeah.
that's it. Okay, yep, that's the line. I found it. All right, moving on. Emojis.
So which one is this from?
Oh, this is from Run, of course. Okay.
What is that first?
I don't
Yeah, what are
know.
we? How
He's
are
like
we going to
exhaling.
interpret this?
He was like
that one
exhaling.
seems like
He's
got
either super
exhausted.
chill.
Like
He's like
Maybe he's
smoking
high.
a cigarette. He's like smoking a cigarette, and he's just like super relaxed about it. Or he's really tired. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what else this could be. It really looks like he's blowing out smoke. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. Let's try. If you ever ran away, I just have to hunt you down. And you know what would happen if I caught you, right? So yeah, that's possible. That's one possibility. I don't know. I'm having trouble with this emoji. I don't know. It sounded a lot like the first one I did, so I don't know.
It was great. Great interpretation. No notes.
Or I could just do it cowboy like last time. just 'cause
Yeehaw.
we don't know.
Oh no.
I
If
think
you
no.
ever ran away, I just have to hunt you down. And you know what would happen if I caught you, right?
Gonna have to
If I
hog
catch
tie
you, I fuck you.
Okay. Well, now I feel like
All
I have to add the line, the rest of the line, because you just.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about
Might
it.
as
Okay.
well. I
So
thought
now
he was just gonna do
he's-
something about.
All right. So to me, this emoji, it's a guy who's looking directly up. And to me, that means that he's like uncomfortable and he's like rolling his eyes kind of situation. But Now I got to think about how you could apply that to this quote. So,
Just make it sassy.
make it sassy. Okay, sassy.
A full brat.
I'm honestly drawing a total blank on what this would sound like. And I don't want to just say it this exact same way again, but okay, so he's rolling his eyes. Okay, so if you ever ran away, I just have to hunt you down. And you know what would happen if I caught you, right? That veered a little bit Minnesota for some reason.
It did.
I was gonna say there's a little bit of Canadian in there.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that. Minnesota.
If you ever ran away, now it's Irish. I can't do it. Okay, let's just go to the
No, I
next
mean,
one.
go for it. We can try accents. I mean, I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about accents.
She's fine with you saying this line over and over.
All right. All right. Leave me alone.
Suddenly 6 more emojis appear.
I am but a simple creature.
We now return to PlapCast.
So you've had some very creative audio plots. What's the process like for coming up with those?
Well, I guess it's just always different. Whatever weird thing happens to pop into my head, and then I jump to my notes app in my phone. I'm like, okay, I gotta write this down, see if I can make this work sometime. Like I did one where the speaker and the listener are both abducted by aliens and brought to an alien zoo, which was totally an idea from Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five. It's a book that I grew up reading. So yeah, that's where that idea came from. I just really like that concept from that book, and I thought it would make a cool audio.
I honestly want to hear
I'm trying to
the
think of other.
soundscape for that one. I feel like the sound effects would be so cool.
Yeah, here's the thing is I actually did that. That was like one of the very early audios that I did.
Oh,
and
no.
my sound effect mixing back then, until honestly, maybe a little bit before I joined Quinn, I would say my sound effect mixing was quite bad, and it's still improving. So yeah, if you're gonna delve back in the Wayback Machine to those audios, then you just you gotta listen with a little grace, because those are not quite as strong production value. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do get weird ideas pretty often. Sometimes talking to Patreon members on my Discord, you know, we'll just get to talking and some weird idea will come up. Like, I don't know. We were actually doing a voice thing on my Discord once. I believe it was Not for a Dolph Says, which is something I do every month where people submit things for me to say and I'll act them out. But it was different from that, and I just ended up doing an improv session, and people were just throwing out ideas, and
That's so
we did,
cute.
yeah, we did like I was a pizza delivery guy, and it was like a old school porno, like super cheesy, lots of puns, yeah, and it's like 12 minutes of, it's like still a real audio, like it goes through all the steps, and I'm moaning and stuff, but it's like chock full of pizza puns. Yeah. So there's many different ways that these things could come about, but I have a lot of weird ones, I have to admit.
The 12-step program, but make it wankable.
Make
Yeah,
it wake up.
There you go.
Gosh.
Sorry.
You have to
I'm not
make
sorry.
it linkable. All right. I'm sure your inbox is often full of great audio suggestions and script ideas. How do you decide what to do next?
Well, there was a period of time where I was very open to script suggestions, and I ended up doing quite a few from different script writers, and that was a lot of fun. But like I said earlier, it ended up becoming a lot to manage.
Yeah.
Like it just took a lot of my time to manage all those relationships. And so I just kind of made things easier for myself, and I just work with a couple now. But yeah, I do get and still get script offers, but I'm not doing script offers anymore, just, you know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, if the script is probably fine, but maybe it's a concept that I don't want to do. It's also a lot of reading through people's scripts and then having the very hard job of having to say, I don't want to do it if I don't, you know, and try not to hurt anybody's feelings. So that's the downside of it. But
Yeah, I get it.
yes, I was getting quite a few in my inbox before.
The next one is from think it's Violetta. And they want to know, are you uploading your most popular audios from Magic Wave onto Quinn?
No, I won't be doing that. Magic Wave accepts my free audios, right? And so I just uploaded my free audios, a lot of them, onto Magic Wave. Audios from Reddit that I'd posted. And yeah, so I just gave those to Magic Wave, essentially.
Yeah.
And I did one exclusive on there, which actually I think is pretty good. If you have a Magic Wave account, please check it out. The name escapes me at the moment. But yeah, I've got one exclusive on there. And obviously my exclusives between Magic Wave and Quinn, they can't go on each other's platforms, just contractually. So.
So this is a short question, also from Toasty. How dare you?
How dare I? Well, I really appreciate that sentiment. And as I said, I'm a slut praise. So, thank you.
This one is from Casey, and they say, Jock Imdom Doff has me in a chokehold, but Imsub Mommy Audio win.
M-sub mommy audio. Yeah, so I've got probably a couple different ones where I'm a jock. There's one that's called 3 Jocks, which you can find on Reddit for free, where I'm like playing an idiot jock. And maybe that's the one that she's referring to, but that one's kind of funny. And then, yeah, I probably have a few where I'm a male sub who's like as subby as can be, referring to the listener as mommy. For sure, all of the taming the billionaire fuckboy, whipping the billionaire fuckboy are very much that way. So if that's your jam, check out those ones.
So the next one is from Filipino.
I love that name. That's such a good name.
And they want to know, if your favorite Quinn audio at the moment was a song, what would it be?
Huh.
That's such an interesting question.
That is such a hard question. All right. Well, first of all, I'll just have to pick one because I don't know what is my favorite Quinn audio. I don't know. Let's take "You Are Not a Rebound," and so then that can be like I have a song that's coming in my head, but I can't remember the name of it or who sings it. That's
You could
how
just sing
my
it.
brain works. Yeah.
Yeah, just sing it. It's fine.
He is a good singer. He is a
No.
good singer.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
so
the
serious.
worst singer.
You sang in one of your audios, and I was like, oh.
I mean, we could judge that for you. That's fine.
I'll put
You're
it back
kidding? No, I'm so bad. I actually made a rule.
up. No singing.
Oh, a boundary? What?
Yeah, I did. I made a rule for just Dolph Says, which is what I was saying. I was saying that's like every month I read things that people write for me. I have a rule. You can't write me a song.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna get the assistance of Google on this one.
Oh.
A Night by
I
the
was
Lake.
How about "You Are Not a Rebound" and "Jar of Hearts" by Christina Perri?
That's a good
Okay,
song.
okay.
I do like that song.
I do like that song too. You sang in A Night by the Lake. I had to get the audio name.
You're right. Yeah, I
It was
sang as a
cute.
frog.
It was cute.
Did you say
I
you
guess if it's a
sang
joke.
like a frog?
He sang as a
I'm
frog.
pretty sure. Yes, I
as
think
a
I sang
frog.
as a
Okay.
frog. Yeah. With the ribbits
like-
and everything. So if it's a
Oh,
joke,
that's
then maybe I can get
adorable.
away with it.
Like a
It was
parody.
adorable. And it was good. I'll die on that hill. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it was a frog rendition of Leonard Cohen's "Dance
Yep.
Me to the End of Love." Yeah.
Mhm.
Dance me, dance me. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, but that's the song.
How
You started
dare
it. You gotta finish it. Oh my
I know
gosh.
you have to finish it.
Oh, I feel like we found the one thing that makes you uncomfortable, and that's singing, apparently.
You're right. Yes.
Okay, so basically we've got an oxymoron of can't take compliments, however, praise kink. Got it.
Also, praise kink. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
dilemma.
yeah. It's an internal battle every day.
Every day.
So yeah, Dolph,
So-
you have a great singing voice, by the way. I don't know if I said that or mentioned that.
Oh.
Are you trying to turn the tables right now, Amanda?
Yes,
Is it working?
No
There you go.
hesitation.
absolutely. Immediately.
So this next question is from Whimsy. Do you have any experience with writing and or acting prior to AE voice acting?
No, I was in a play in middle school. Just one.
Through the
And that is
tree?
the
Sorry.
sum total. No, I was actually in a romance role, which is kind of funny.
Oh.
But
Aw.
I became it was in middle school, right? And I
Aw.
became sort of famous for 2 weeks because I was the character who is dating the girl who in real life was like the most popular, cutest girl in school. And so, you know, all the guys were giving me the high fives and stuff for playing that part in middle school.
I mean,
For fake
Fake
dating.
I'm not
dating,
gonna
fake
lie, this
dating.
started out really cute and then it turned into
It doesn't sound great, does it? But then again, middle school boys are,
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
most
yeah.
charming.
mature.
Middle school's the worst.
But I will say it's a cute story though, you know?
And then we
Anyways,
got
yeah.
married and lived. No, we didn't.
Okay, the last question is from Sash, and they say, "What country are you from?"
I am actually a Brit. No, I'm kidding.
I knew it.
I'm
knew it.
American.
He's from Canada.
No, ugh. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I love
That
my
just
Canadian
took me off
friends.
guard.
Ash is gonna come banging down your door.
Oh,
No, I
God.
love Canada. Vancouver and Montreal are two of my favorite cities.
Violetta asks, "Can we get his approximate age?"
I was born in the 1990s, and the side of the 1990s.
Yeah.
Yes, I was born in the 20th century, way back when.
The 20th century.
Someone said something about, they did something in the late 1900s, and I was like, never say it like that again. Like, it's
know, yeah.
accurate,
The late
but that hurt.
I was born in the late 1900s.
See, there you go. There's your answer. That's great. I love that.
Oh, that's funny. All right, that is actually our last question, unfortunately. So that means it is game time. Hello.
Gay time.
Gay
Let's
time.
go. Gay time. I'm ready for that.
I was like, it's my time. My time to shine. Oh my god.
You did this one. Don't yell at me.
Yep, this was me. Why did I do this to myself? That is a great question. All right. Yep, last round of the game. Let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and get on the floor. Just gonna go.
Oh, sorry, my turn. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Your
you're
turn.
fired. I'm actually.
I was
doing this one.
literally just I was just full blown spacing out there. I
Yeah,
was,
joke's
just
on you.
waiting for you guys to ask me a question.
You're fine.
Actually, your turn to ask
Okay.
us
It's my turn.
questions.
So I'm doing this now. I'm taking over. So
All right, sweet.
sorry, I'm the VA now. You're just gonna have to sit in
Beautiful.
your little cuck chair. It's okay. I'm done. Go ahead.
You're not done. I'm going back in until your legs are numb and your voice is hoarse. Okay, that's serious. Let's do
Yeah,
weird.
love it.
Okay, all right. Laughing kind of does work with this one, actually. So it's a laughing emoji.
No.
I'm a little bit scared.
You're not done. I'm going back in until your legs are numb and your voice is hoarse. All right, it kind of worked. Not quite. But yeah. If I had just laughed the once at the beginning, it would have worked better. Okay.
You
All right,
do
and
it
the next
again.
one.
Do it again.
Okay, all right. You're not done. I'm going back in until your legs are numb and your voice is hoarse. Okay, so you can laugh at the beginning, but then it has to get serious or else it's not going to work, I think. Mm-hmm. Okay, next we have a guy who, what do we think he's doing here? Shrugging? Is he shrugging
He
it
looks
off?
like he should be holding a
Right.
pizza.
All right, pizza delivery. Okay, he's looking for payment.
Pizza delivery, but he did not bring a pizza.
Well, other forms of delivery.
It's my dick in
Okay.
the box.
Sorry.
We'll just do this one sweetly and call it a day.
Sounds good.
You're not done. I'm going back in until your legs are numb and your voice is hoarse, baby. I don't know.
That was good. That was good.
I don't know.
That's great.
It was something.
Okay.
I think Amanda's gone hoarse.
All right. Nay. All right. Nay.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
You know what? You know, we gotta hold your horses because she's unstable.
All right. Yeah, you're not coming back here. You're done. You're done.
That was so good. You can't even be mad.
This has been really fun. I think that was a really good conversation. So thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Well, to our lovely listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all of the things. Next time we are going to have Behold the Beauty joining us for episode 16. Her episode will be called Behold the Plap. And thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week.
Play
All
nice
right.
with
Bye,
others.
guys.
Bye.
Don't talk
Thank
to
you.
strangers.
Bye.
It is I, Plappy. I wanted to quickly say thank you so much for listening to us. Please continue to like and comment. It makes me grow a little bigger. See you next time. Cheerio.